Hey guys, it's Rob here. We're back again with another milestone, this time double what I had before. I want to thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers. I did a bit of research and it seems like 2,000 people can fit inside a theater, including the balcony. That's insane. So again, thank you all for 2,000 subscribers. Today, I'm going to be ranking every Chuck E. Cheese and Rock-afire Explosion character. I found a tier list online which I've made modifications to in order to use it. Let's lay down a few rules as to what I'll be ranking on this list. Firstly, I'm only ranking characters that we have enough material for. That way, we have an idea of what their character is like, so we can properly rank them. This means characters like Dr. Quack will not be on this list, since we don't have any showtape material on him. Secondly, prop characters will be excluded from this ranking. They don't have any character to them, and if they do, it's very little, so I don't want to include them here. Lastly, I will be counting the Pizza Time Theater variants of the Chuck E. Cheese characters and the Munch's Make Believe Band variants of the characters as different characters, as they're pretty different for the most part from each other. Without further ado, let's go ahead and rank every Chuck E. Cheese and Rock-afire Explosion character. Okay, so welcome guys. So I've went ahead and made a tier list here. So just going through each of these, we've got Amazing, which is pretty much your best characters. Great, which are, just below the best. So they're still, great characters. It says good, which, not, amazing, great, obviously, but they're still a good character. They have stuff to bring to the table. Okay means, they probably fall under some sort of stereotype and they don't have anything to bring really that much. They're sort of just, yeah, not too great. And then meh, which is just, yeah, it's the character's just not that good. And then no character, which you know what? Let me just go and put these in here. Okay, now with that, we are finally ready. Okay, so starting off, we've got Pizza Time Theater Chuck. So this guy, so as all of us probably know, this is a much edgier Chuck compared to what we have today. This Chuck is a lot more mean. He used to smoke a cigar back then. Is portrayed as a lot older, but he does care about, you know, entertaining the people, like the kids and stuff. So there's that. But he's definitely very mean to his friends, especially back in the day. Now, they did soften up his personality, mid to late 80s, but I would say we're mainly focusing on, late 70s or early 80s with this, because then you start getting into characters like this guy. So, where would I rank him personally? I mean, personally, he's probably one of my favorite Chuck E. Cheese characters, personally. So, I think he does probably have the strongest personality out of the Pizza Time players. So, put him in good. I still think compared to other characters on this list, there are better. There's definitely better. He still doesn't have a very deep personality, but honestly, I think there's appeal to his character. So, I'll put him in good for now. Alright. So next we've got Pizza Time Theater Jasper. So, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this guy gets very annoying. Like, I understand Chuck's uh, dislike towards him and wanting to constantly turn him off because the laughing, it's very annoying. Just not particularly a great thing to be around. Now, I've got different thoughts on new Jasper, but if we're talking about Pizza Time Theater Jasper, I mean, there's not that much redeeming about him, honestly. I mean, he's a country dog, but he's really annoying, so I'll put him in the not at the top, but like the very bottom of okay. That I think just so I don't get people angry. So next we got Pasquale. So I'm not sure he's changed that much since Pizza Time Theater days. He's still a chef. He doesn't play, and I don't know what that thing is. An accordion? I don't think it's an accordion. But whatever he plays, he doesn't play it anymore. He plays drums now, but um, I don't know. I guess he was more arrogant. I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of Pizza Time Theater show tapes. I guess he wasn't as nice, but he seemed all right. So I'll put him above Jasper. It's not very difficult to be better than Jasper, Pizza Time Theater Jasper. So yeah. Okay, so now we got Pizza Time Theater Helen, which arguably, aside from maybe Chuck, is probably one of the most changed characters because she was older back then. She was this Broadway star kind of personality. So yeah, I mean overall there wasn't much to her, honestly. I mean, she that was kind of her personality. So I put her above Jasper. Would I put her above Pizza Time Theater Pasquale? That's what I'm wondering because I'm not really sure, honestly. Like, would I put her above or below? I don't know much about Pizza Time Theater Pasquale again. Haven't watched a ton, but I've seen more from Helen, so I guess I'll put her above. She probably is a bit better, so yeah. So finally, we got Pizza Time Theater Munch, and I think this is the character that's changed the least from his Pizza Time Theater days to now, because his personality back then was pizza, and it still is about pizza. So yeah, not much. Honestly, I think yeah, I might put him below Jasper, honestly, because at least with Jasper, he's got something to him. You know what? Don't hate me, guys. I don't think I like Pizza Time Theater Munch that much. Like, honestly, I don't think there's that much to him. I think he's just kind of there, to be honest. Okay, and then next we've got Krusty. I don't have a lot of experience with Krusty. I've seen a bit from him. Obviously, Munch ended up replacing Krusty, but he seemed pretty cool. Where would I put him though? Yeah, I might put him in here. Or would I put him in good? Would I put him in good? I'm not gonna put him in good. I don't think we've seen enough from him that I would put him in good. But he's at the top of okay. Like, I think he's bordering on being good. So, yeah, I mean, he seems like a pretty decent enough character. So, yeah, I'll put him in the top of okay. Okay, so now we get to guest stars. So, we got Foxy Colleen here. Colleen, whatever. I don't know a ton about her. She's honestly the one I've done the least research on. I've learned a bit more about her recently, though, and that she's Irish and stuff. But I don't think we have that much on her, honestly. So, I mean, should I just put her? I wouldn't put her in no character because I don't think we have anything on her, but more just because I'm not. I think the safe bet would just put her in okay, put her, in the middle of okay. Because I don't know much about her, honestly, personality wise. She seems decent, but again, we don't know much, so can I really speak much for her? Not really. So Sally Sachet. I actually did watch a show tape, or at least a bit of her not that long ago, so I have seen a bit from her. So yeah, disco skunk, but she stinks. I think she's definitely more interesting than Foxy Colleen, at least. Would I put her above Helen? I don't think we know about enough about her to say so. So let's just put her above Foxy Colleen and call it a day. Okay, now we have the favorite guest star, or at least what I find to be the favorite guest star amongst the fandom, which is Harmony Howlett. So, yeah, I definitely think she is probably the best character-wise, with, the whole cowboy, or I guess cowgirl in this instance, personality, and then, being one of the few to actually fight back against Chuck, with her own sort of roasts and insults. That might actually put her at the bottom of good, honestly. Like, I might put her. But can I do that? Can I really do that? Is my question. I don't know. I'll put her in the bottom of good. I think she's got, a pretty good personality going for her. I can understand why she's the most popular. And I think she does have probably the best design out of the guest stars. So she's got that too. So did not realize they actually did not have Madame Oink on here, so I went and added her, because we went through the rest of the guest stars. So I think I've seen personally the most from Madame Oink. So I'm familiar with her character. So, this sort of French pig, very fancy, but then, she's a pig, so it's sort of a contrast of character to the actual animal she is. I don't know. I don't dig her that much personally. She's just kind of I don't know. Not very intriguing to me personally. I think I'd put her below Sally Sachet personally, so I think she'd go right here, honestly. That's what I'm getting from her personally. Okay, and then back to characters I'm a lot more familiar with. We got Dolly Dimples. So originally meant to be an adult character, but they couldn't really stop kids from going into her area, so yeah, I think she's definitely got an interesting sort of trait trying to be an adult character that flirts with the men and then also plays piano, so I do actually like her character. I don't think she is necessarily good, but I think I'd put her at the top of okay. I think she's got a decent enough character, honestly. And then we also have got Artie Antlers, so I do really like Artie Antlers. I think I might even like her more than Dolly Dimples. Um, Character-wise, though, I'm not sure. Like, I haven't seen a lot from him, but I do really like him. So I think he's a pretty cool dude. Let's see. Would I put her above Dolly Dimples, though? Like, honestly, you know what? I will, just because I do like him more than Dolly Dimples. So I will do that. Okay, and then we have probably what is one of my favorite Pizza Time theater characters. Maybe just one of my favorite Chuck E. Cheese characters in general. We got the King. Honestly though, I will say this guy doesn't have a ton of personality. He's mainly just, Elvis impersonator. So you can't really put him super high because of that. But I do want to put him probably. It's a shame because like character, like design wise and stuff, and animatronic wise, like he's probably my favorite. But that doesn't automatically make him like my favorite character per se because I look at personality as well. And when I look at personality, I mean, should I really? Maybe I should take character designs into this as well. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have been doing that this whole time. I was mainly looking at character though. So if we're looking at character, like honestly, probably like close to the bottom of okay, but yeah. You know what? I'll put him in the let's put him here because I like his design and stuff. I think he's got a cool idea, which, does make him one of my favorites. So, okay, and then we got BB Bubbles, which yet again was another retrofit. Artie Antlers was a retrofit of Dolly Dimples. This is also a retrofit of Dolly Dimples. Bubbly personality, really squeaky high voice. I do like that they tried to reuse the chest movement in Dolly Dimples and used it as a trunk movement. I thought that was pretty cool. Personality wise, though, not very interesting. Like, honestly, I think she probably goes right here, honestly, because, kind of annoying. And then finally, for Pizza Time theater characters, we got King Cat. Honestly, probably the worst. Just probably the weakest character. Like, all he did, and I know, like, the king was also, had sort of a weak character, but they did expand upon him a little bit later on, which you know what? Actually, I'll put him here because I've forgotten that they did try to give him a bit of character in the 90s. So yeah, right there. Or maybe right here. You know what? Yeah, right here. But King Cat, like he had a short run and then that was it. He basically had nothing. Like he's even worse than Munch because at least Munch had something. King Cat had nothing. Okay, now we get into characters I'm more familiar with because I've watched probably more material on modern Chuck E. Cheese than Pizza Time Theater Chuck E. Cheese. So, yeah, now we get into modern characters, and yeah, so we got Chuck E. Cheese here. Honestly, I think I like him more than. Do I like him more than? Hmm. Do I like him more or less? Because honestly, I mean, I think Chuck E. Cheese, modern Chuck E. Cheese, is probably one of my favorites out of the main cast. But does that translate to? Honestly, you know what? I'll put him below older because I think older does have an interesting quirk with the whole being mean and stuff. And I don't think there's as much with modern Chuck E. Cheese, but I do like his character, so. Next we got modern Jasper, which honestly, I think he's probably my favorite Chuck E. Cheese character. Maybe outside of like the King, because I do like his design and stuff. But character-wise, I think he's probably the best, the strongest character because like I like his, loyal dog personality and the whole country, and he loses the annoyingness that really just killed his character in the Pizza Time Theater days. And he's a lot more respectable of a character. So, honestly, I think I would put Jasper at probably my favorite. Just Chuck E. Cheese character overall. And then we got Pasquale. So, modern Pasquale, nice dude. He's Italian, the whole Italian thing. Makes pizzas and stuff. There's not a ton to his character still, but I think I'd put him above a regular Pizza Time Theater one, Pasquale. But where would I put him? I mean, I'm more familiar with his character, so I'll put him here, I guess. Actually, you know what? I'll put him here. Okay, so now we have modern Helen. So, I think she probably had one of the most drastic changes. From the, I guess not, maybe not one of the most drastic, but definitely in design. Like you can see, comparing the two, that I mean, her beak gets softened up quite a bit. Like it is no longer as protruding as it used to be, and then she becomes younger as well. So there's that too. Character-wise, I still think she's not, you know, that great. Kind of just still generic-ish. So I think she probably stands similarly to Pizza Time Theater Helen, honestly. Kinda don't know where to put who though. Thing is, we do get a lot more from her, any of these other characters, so there's more to build off of, but still, I don't know. You know, I'll put her here. Just no, no, here. Keep her here. And then we have Munch, which I do think develops a bit more of character. So I think I'll put him. I don't know. Because Modern Munch has more to him, I feel like. So, I'll put him here. I'll put him here. He still doesn't have a lot, and he's probably the weakest character. But, still, I do dig him. You know what, Pasquale, I'll put you here. I'll put you here. Because I do like your character some. Alright, now we finally get on to Rock-afire Explosion characters, which, if you're wondering why I haven't put anybody in Great or Amazing yet, this is why. So, let's start off with Billy Bob. So, obviously, the mascot, probably one of my favorite, even amongst these characters. Would I put him in Amazing, though? Um, if I put him in Amazing, he's probably lower. I think I'd put him in Amazing, because honestly, he is a pretty cool character. The whole country personality, I think, really works for him, and just the way they build upon it in various show tapes, but then also just like, I think his performances are also pretty cool as well. And then the banter with Looney Bird, I think it really they build off of each other well, so. And then, I do like these characters that do play guitar. I think that mechanism is interesting as well, so that is part of why he's one of my favorites, so. Definitely, yeah. I think I'd put him in Amazing. Alright, so next we got Fats, technically the leader of the Rock-afire Explosion. Sort of that just stage presence. I'm not sure I'd put him in Amazing. He's definitely great, at least. I don't know. I do like his character. I do really like his character. I do find it interesting, animatronic-wise, with the piano and how it lights up and stuff. And then, foot tap and all. And he's kind of like the dad of the group. Top of grade. I'll put him in the top of grade. I don't think I'd put him necessarily in amazing. He's definitely the top of grade, though. Okay, and now we get to probably maybe a hot take. I don't like Mitzi as much as other people, personally. I think she's a bit more on the basic side compared to the other Rock-afire characters. It's not because she's female. I've seen, good female characters, and I'm not saying she isn't one. I just do not think she is as complex as the other characters are. I think there could be a bit more to her. That being said, I think I'd put her at the top of good. Going on great because I think she still is definitely better than any of these other Chuck E. Cheese characters. Because, she still does have more of a personality, even though, she's cheerleader, teenager, cheerleader, There's still definitely, a lot of show tapes that build off of her character, so there is stuff there. It's not like she's super basic, but she's definitely more on the basic side compared to other of the Rock-afire Explosion characters. So probably one of my least favorites. That doesn't mean I don't like her though. She's still a good character. All right, now we get to Beach Bear. I don't even think I need to explain this one to you guys. I don't think anybody else here is as good as Beach Bear. Beach Bear is amazing. Like my dude is just so cool. So I mean, Polar Bear, honestly, I like the animal Polar Bear. I think it really works well for his character. The whole contrast between a polar bear, which, I know it's an obvious thing, lives in the cold. They usually live in the freezing cold, but, he likes the hot beach. He plays the guitar, probably one of my favorite instruments. But then I love Rick Bailey's voice with the character, and then the singing, just some of my favorite. He is just overall my favorite character from the band. It's yeah. I don't think it's close, honestly. Like he's just so cool. Oh, and also one last little thing, I think he probably is my favorite animatronic out of the group. Like just mechanically wise, I think he's got a really cool concept for him. So yeah, with the whole I know Billy Bob also has that, and that's why he's also one of my favorites. But I just think that arm that can just come up, but then also strum his guitar, I think that's a really cool idea. Next, we got Duke. And honestly, I think I like him more than Fats. I'm not sure I put him in amazing. You know, he's definitely. I don't think he's as outspoken as the other characters, but I really like that he actually plays the drums. And I know this isn't really relating to his character, but again, I think everything just builds into these characters, whether it's their animatronics and or the personality. So I think that's really cool. I know it doesn't look realistic, obviously, because he's having to actually play the drums, but I think honestly, he's a really nice character, and I've really grown to him ever since I've gotten, my own Duke slash Pasquale animatronic. So definitely, I would put him in probably, bottom of amazing because I really do like him as a character. He's pretty awesome. And his songs are amazing. Like his singing, like Duke Chipetta did an amazing job, like with his voice. Like he's amazing. All right, next we have, another one I own, Rolf and Earl. So I'm actually only going to be counting this as Rolf. So if we're going off of Rolf, I think he's more interesting than even Fats. And I know he doesn't get as much time as Fats, but I think him being sort of the antagonist of the group, but not necessarily, quote unquote evil, is a very interesting trait. Like, he's not inherently super evil, like a villain, but he is, sort of the antagonist. So, the whole duology with Earl is also very interesting. Their Rolf and Earl show and all those skits are very interesting. And I think he's probably a little bit more interesting than Earl for me. So, yeah. I don't think I'd put him in amazing, but I would put him at the top of great. And then, of course, we got Earl. So, again, I think I'd put him just below. Actually, you know what? I might put him just below Fats because I think he's a little bit less developed than Rolf, which I know is weird because they both have things, but he mainly just sings whenever they come on stage. So Rolf does a lot of the talking. Earl is sort of like, the one telling him not to do stuff. And that's kind of his personality, is that, and always making fun of him. So that is kind of funny, and I do think he's definitely an interesting character for that. I don't think he's as good as Rolf though. So that's why I wanted to divide these characters, because they are their own characters. So yeah. And then I might have lied. I'm not sure if I'd put Looney Bird above Mitzi or below. Looney Bird is definitely not one that gets explored as much. Uh, Obviously, he has that duology with Billy Bob. So there's that, but I'm not sure how interesting, as of a character he's alone. He did get developed a bit more in the new Rock-afire explosion, but we're not really. I don't know. I might actually put him below Mitzi because I don't think he's as developed of a character. I still do really like him, but I don't think he gets that much. Honestly, though, like, he might be bordering on Jasper. I'm gonna put him above Jasper because I do think he still has maybe more development. But yeah. Okay, now we get to our final two characters, and I lied. I think actually no. So Uncle Clunk was a very interesting one. So obviously he ended up being a failed. I wouldn't call it an experiment. I guess it is an experiment, a failed test, or it wasn't really a test either. But basically, yeah, he went into multiple different Showbiz Pizza Place restaurants, failed. He was a very interesting animatronic though, and ended up being the most advanced out of these guys. He could actually pick up a phone and hold it up to his head, so I thought that was pretty cool. As a character, I don't think he doesn't get a lot of development. He is interesting though. I don't know if I'd put him above or below Looney Bird though. I'll put him right here because I don't think they develop his character much. I think he's probably the weakest character, honestly, now that I think about it. He only gets a couple show tapes and it's interesting, but I don't think it's as interesting as the stuff that we see here. So, yeah. I did end up moving him to the bottom of good because the more I think about it, the more I realize there's not as much to him because he didn't get a lot of time, and honestly, I think with how Showbiz Pizza wanted to do things, he just did not get as good of a character. I know Jeff Howell did get a chance, but they didn't get to build off of him that much. So, but then we got Santa Claus. So this is literally just Santa. What do you want me to say about him? Like he's just Santa, dude. That being said, I mean the character of Santa is, I guess, interesting. Probably definitely the weakest Showbiz character because he's just Santa. I don't know. Put him in the middle of okay, I guess? I don't know. He's just Santa, dude. I don't think anyone's really gonna care if I say, he's just an okay character. I mean, I do like Santa as a concept, I'm just saying. And I do like how they were able to retrofit Clunk into Santa. I thought that was pretty cool. But again, it's just Santa. So, yeah. So yeah, I think this is the finalized list. I hope you guys don't hate me too much for this list, because I do think this is my final sort of list. Just go ahead and head out onto the outro. Thank you guys for watching this video, and thanks yet again for 2,000 subscribers. It was fun going through and ranking these characters. I just hope you guys don't hate me after this. My next video is going to be covering Evansville, Indiana, which has a trait similar to the one we covered with Dearborn. If you're interested in seeing that video, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you're notified when that comes out. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.